Hey guys, wanted to do a little video on the things that we brought in our bags, what we definitely used all the time, and maybe what we wouldn't bring next time. So I'm going to start with my bag, and then I'm just going to talk a little bit about the two of us and dividing this stuff. So right here is all the things that I brought along. I'm going to go through them here in just a minute. Fred doesn't have his stuff out yet, just a couple of things on the side of the bed. But one of the things that by having two people we're able to do is to split some things up. So we brought a little bag which was used by me a few times as a day pack and also for shopping. I carried that along with this clothesline, which I'll talk more about later because this was one of the best purchases we made. And I carried some fingernail clippers and cuticle nips, which both of us use quite often. Fred also then carried clothespins. He carried the charger, which all of our things charged on this. He also carried a little light that we used at nighttime in the albergues as well as the mornings we went early. And he carried the Camino book, which we used pretty much every day. As far as clothes, shirt, long sleeve, shorts, underwear, bra, socks, shoes. Extra shirt, socks, bra, underwear, pair of pants, an extra pair of shorts, which I hardly ever wore except when my shorts were wet. And then I have a little night shirt and night shorts to wear to bed in the albergues when there's lots of people around. Of all of this stuff, the biggest thing is I brought a lot of socks. I brought about 3 pair of toe socks, 4 pair of regular socks, and then I bought these other toe socks after I got blisters. I'm glad I had them because I changed it up every day quite often, and I needed all of these socks. I chose not to bring a packing cube. I chose to pack in plastic bags instead, and that worked great for me. I had all my socks and my foot care stuff in one bag and all my clothes in another bag. By the way, I really hated these pants, but they were the lightest pants I could find, and they kept me warm in the mornings. So the little shorts I brought along to wear in the albergues with my night shirt, I also intended to use as a bathing suit with this little bathing suit top. We never swam once. So for me, that could be a leave at home. There was no point in having it. Everyone we heard from earlier in the year said, you've got to bring it. There's so many places to swim. But I think that they were here in the summer and it was hot. We both brought towels to use in the albergues. We brought a big towel. They're very fast drying. I brought a hand towel that matched that, but I lost it on day 1. But on day 2, Fred found that one in the giveaway at Roncesvalles. So I was able to have a hand towel. You've seen it before, the sheet. Brought 2 buffs, one for my head, one for my neck. They were awesome. This Viana thing I did not bring from home. I got it in Viana when we were there for the festival, and I've been carrying it ever since. It weighs nothing, and I'm just happy to have it as a reminder. This is my Kula cloth, which I talked about in some earlier video. My hat, which I really do actually hate, but it really keeps the sun off my head, so it is what it is. And down pillow, which is fantastic. I put some clothes in the back of it at night to puff it up a little bit. I started with those shoes, the tennis shoes and the slides. Now, as you know, I bought Tevas when I had blisters. Had I known I was going to be wearing Tevas, I wouldn't have brought those slides. I would have brought a little thin pair of flip-flops to use in the showers. So everybody's toiletry bag is personal. You got to bring what you need and what you want. There's a little stuff I bought here at the pharmacy when I got all those bites that helped. And this is my toiletry bag here. I carried the toothpaste. Fred didn't, but he used that. I had to pull out the comb though, because that's the comb we brought. That's what I used for my hair. Sunscreen, absolute must. As you can see, it's almost gone. I did bring along an extra pair of insoles for my tennis shoes, which I stopped using after I got the blisters because they were putting my foot in the wrong spot and I was getting blisters on the heel. Ibuprofen, some patches for pain. This is my foot care bag, which has some Aquaphor and some other things for the feet. And then some wool for wrapping around the toes and putting on places that might get blisters. This, by the way, is the second bag of wool. I used an entire bag, well, we used an entire bag in the first 4 or 5 weeks, and this is what's left. This right here is some things Fred found along the way. This is some natural Voltaren. It doesn't have the nasty stuff in it that Voltaren has. And then he found these arm warmers under a bench, which we washed, and I've been using ever since it got cold. So the backpack and the poles are a necessity. The backpack, what I love is that right here is where I keep my, what is this thing called?
Poncho?
Poncho, yep, thank you. And in the bottom of the bag, attached to the bag, is the case to put over and to keep the bag dry. I forgot to mention in the overnight bag that earplugs and eye pillow, absolute necessity for the albergues and sometimes for the hotels as well. Another thing that's a question mark about bringing again is my umbrella. I used it for those couple of days that it was excruciatingly hot, and if we came in the summertime, it would be amazing. We did put together a system here on the backpack to try and keep it up. It wasn't the best. I think if we could come up with a better system, I might be tempted to carry it again. Also, we did carry a very light lock just for those, well, it worked great for sending the bag up ahead and a couple other occasions. Okay, quickly, let me talk about this line.
Okay, so this is the clothing line. I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world when Karen bought it. It's like a 10-foot long cord. The pack locks onto itself. You can just loop it. So you find something like the TV support and you loop this end around. And then you find something else at the other end of the room that you can loop to, and it's got a tensioning system to it. And then the cord itself is in the middle part, it's all doubled, and it's got beads that pinch the two lines together. So you can put something between the two things, slide the beads together, and you don't have to have clothespins. Now, as it turns out, you end up needing extra places, so we brought like 4 or 5 clothespins, and then along the way we found a few more. But we would do our hand washing, and then in the afternoon I'd find some place in the room to hang up the stuff so that in the morning clothes are dry and you can put them back on and get on your way.
Okay, this is kind of what it looks like before I put it in the bag. I've got my 4 plastic bags. I'm going to go ahead and put them in, and then I'm just going to show you layer by layer how it works. Okay, bottom layer easy, pillow in the back, 2 of the bags closed, and then this is sheet. I've got the umbrella right there. I just set the Hoka slides on next, and of course, as I said before, I won't bring those again. If I'm going to bring both Tevas and Hokas, I'll just bring some flip-flops. Okay, everything else is inside. It's zip up easy. The shoes can go on the outside, or Fred has been carrying them for me ever since I got a second pair because he's a sweetheart. And the hat and the culo cloth get clipped to the outside. So that's it, and that, as I said yesterday, that's about 14 pounds. So the fanny pack is an extra thing that I am using. The reason I have it is I keep my money and my credit card and ID in there. I also put my phone in and out. It's very easy for me to get it and take pictures. This is also where I carry the toenail clippers and the cuticle nips and chapstick. And now my fanny pack has one addition.
Okay, so this is all my stuff kind of laid out. I'll start with, I have a little inflatable pillow with a puff jacket. So the puff jacket goes inside the pillow to give a little downy sense to it, and that turned out really, really well. Underwear, socks. I brought way more socks than I ever thought I would need, and I used almost all of them, and they weigh almost nothing, so that's really good. This is the sleep sack. Not really a fan, but you really can't stay in albergues and dorm room type places without it. The Camino book that we really need. The light, rechargeable light, turns out really, really cool when you're staying in places, hotels or albergues and different things. Just having a light that you can kind of walk around. And it worked out also really cool when we left early those few mornings to have a light to light up the kind of difficult parts of the trail. Toiletry bag, that's basically all the toiletries. Interesting thing is you're doing hand washing every afternoon. And so you end up picking up shampoo and gel and stuff to wash out stuff. I probably brought more than I needed, and even then I just had like 1 or 2 little tubes, but you pick them up along the way if you stay in a hotel and stuff like that. So I wouldn't worry about it. Same with the tapes. I think we brought 1 roll, and on the way we probably bought another 4 or 5 different types trying to figure out what to get. We had got these cool little soap bags. It's kind of like a waterproof bag and then a little meshy bag inside. I didn't use it. Karen loved it. I wouldn't bring it again. Karen loves it. I forgot to bring a corkscrew. Hey, there's little Chinese bazaar shops all over the place, and I find that an essential thing. Karen kind of talked about the charger. This thing is super cool. It plugs in anywhere in the world, and then you can plug in almost anything in the world. And then it's got the USB outlets. It's got like 4 ports for the high speed and regular USB outs. We can charge pretty much anything along the way. That's my bath towel, shorts, shirt. I brought a second pair of shorts. On like the first week, a pocket blew out, and I hardly used it at all. Between the swim trunks and a pair of zip-off shorts, zip-off pants shorts thing, I don't think I would have brought the second pair of pants along. I've got a long pair of sleep pants or afternoon wander around pants, a short sleeve shirt, and then hanging in the closet is a long sleeve shirt. So that is my poncho, essential. You either have to have a poncho or a rain jacket. I think the poncho is the way to go. And the super cool hat, keeps the sun off, and super, super stylish. And that is just a piece of wire hanger thing that I had so that I can hang my Crocs on the back. Yes, you can just hang the Crocs off a strap, but they dangle and bounce, and that irritates me, and you don't like me when I'm irritated. So then the other thing that I'll talk about for just a second is little carabiners. Super cool for just clipping stuff on. I've got this on my toiletry bag so that when we go in someplace, I can just clip it on and hang it and get it out of the way. Karen uses that for hanging stuff off her backpack. I use it for connecting my little Croc hanger and getting stuff attached to your bag. So in the middle, I don't think I could go on a trip without a little knife or a Gerber. Knife's lighter than the Gerber. So this is like a secondary auxiliary Band-Aids and stuff. Sudafed, we didn't need them, but we had friends that we met along the way that needed it. Sewing kit, really thought that would be for when stuff needs to get repaired along the way. We used it for threading blisters. And really important, ibuprofen. I don't think you can do a long trip without that in wine. An extra set of insoles made my feet so much happier. So just real quick, all the stuff that was on the bed, puff jacket is now in the pillow. All the clothes that were laying out are right there. So basically, as it got cooler, I started wearing a thin underlayer shirt, a long sleeve hoodie shirt, and then a wool shirt. Ended up wearing all 3 shirts at the same time, and that worked great. And then I had a pair of gloves. Real thin pair of gloves was great for the cool mornings. So all that stuff's then going to go in the bag. So just a quick note, this is the charger. We use that to charge our phones, our smartwatches, and our little light. That's the only electronics that we brought with us. So,
hey guys, that's it on the packing video. Sorry it's so long, but it is detailed. It's everything. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and we'd be happy to help. Buen Camino. It's hard not to say Buen Camino.